I want to say to the people of America and the nations of the world that I hate you.
Saddam, it's me, Bill Clinton. Look, buddy, I need you to help me out here. This Monica Lewinsky thing is getting pretty hot again. I could use a distraction.
Was there a sketch that stood out to you?
The Bada Bing with Tony Soprano, and Molly was playing the 50-year-old dancer. And
I like to kick, stretch, and kick.
You know, I did Richard Dreyfuss one time. That was my favorite for a little while. I was like, Mr. Vaughn, what we're dealing with here is an eating machine.
Oh my God.
All this machine does is eat and sleep and make little sharks, and that's all, right? I dug that one. I salute you.
So if you could go back in this 50th anniversary and they say, Darrell, we want you to pick one thing to do, what are you picking?
I think that we did Bill Clinton so many times in many different ways. We compared him to Warner Brothers' Daffy Duck, because Daffy Duck could do drawing room comedy, he could do slapstick comedy, he could do every form of comedy, and so could Bill Clinton by the time we were through.
Let's do this impeachment thing all over again.
Did you ever get to like meet him or have a conversation? And what did he say?
Oh, it was bizarre. I mean, first meeting, I was in the Oval Office, petrified, and he comes in. He's quite tall, and he's got on a tux with a red bow tie, and he walks up to me, and I stammered. I'm not even going to try to act like I don't feel stupid. I literally said to him, I'm not going to act like I don't feel stupid.
Right.
I do, right? And he leans in really close and he goes, but I think you look terrific. You know, being hugged by W. Yeah. I had recently lost some weight, and he hugs me and he goes, you lost quite a bit of tonnage.
That sounds like a W.
Well, it's a verbal souvenir.
Yes.
That you take with you for the rest of your life.
Throughout 14 seasons, Darrell Hammond brought the laughs alongside stars like Tina Fey, Jason Sudeikis, Will Ferrell, and Jimmy Fallon. When he left in 2009, the then 53-year-old was the oldest cast member in the show's history.
Well, good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
I am in a fantastic mood.
What kept you coming back every year?
I don't think I could explain how addictive it is. I think it's harder to get off the show than it is to get on it.
You think?
Yeah, because, you know, after 11 years, I knew it was time, but no one else was going to accept that yet.
Right.
Everyone really had to sort of agree on that, and I went into this period where writers that had brought me up and supported me and written for me and known me and knew how to write for me were gone. We're in the Obama administration. I'm not playing anyone. It was time. But it didn't happen for 2 more years.
Over the years, Darrell has impersonated more than 107 celebrities, including Al Gore, Regis Philbin, and Sean Connery.
Sean Connery, it's still your board. I'll take swords for 400. It's actually not swords, sir. Swords. These are words that begin with S.
What I was discovering on the show was, in my first 6 months, was that I would get impressions and I'd do them accurately and I was not being funny. So Dana Carvey comes and he's the master of political caricature. And he says, think of the Hirschfeld drawings, the guy that drew about the theater district, and Kate Hepburn's nose was the, you know, and he blew all the things out. Think of doing that when you do your person, and you'll be funnier like that. So after that, you know, Sean Connery came up shortly after that, and I thought I had a pretty good, solid one, and folks were saying it was solid, but then I remember what Dana said when I got out there, and I exaggerated and I got the laugh.
Yeah.
But we didn't think that was really gonna happen. I mean, it didn't make any sense that he didn't like Alex Trebek or that he was stupid, and that was the thing about the Sean Connery thing. It was so silly, and the writing was so clever.
A riddle, if you will. I don't want to hear it. What's the difference between you and a mallard with a cold? One's a sick duck. I can't remember how it ends, but your mother's...
Oddly enough, or maybe not so surprisingly enough, a lot of the stuff is born off the cuff in an elevator, walking up and down stairs, having a sandwich on break.
What was the one that was the toughest to do, the impression for you?
There were some that I felt like I could have got if I had more time.
Okay.
Over there, it doesn't have to be a perfect impression, it just has to be kind of funny. They brought me into audition, I did 3 10-minute auditions and probably did 30 impressions, and anything I could think of.
Right.
And they hired me. Now they're throwing Gore at me. Now, they're throwing Geraldo Rivera at me. They're throwing some key figures in that era. I couldn't do Newt Gingrich at all.
Has any other Speaker of the House ever been subjected to this kind of total lack of respect?
Was there a sketch that stood out to you more?
The most, to me, personal favorite was when I was out there with Molly Shannon, and I just love being out there with her and Amy Poehler, and they're just so fast.
It's huge!
It's a big show.
It's terrific!
We did a sketch at the Bada Bing with Tony Soprano, and Molly was playing the 50-year-old dancer, and was one of my favorite.
Oh, stop the music. Lady, you call that a sexy dance?
What happened was, I don't know who I'd been playing beforehand, but I had 2 minutes to get ready to get from the other side of the room to this side to the very other side of the room, and I had glue in my eye and pancake in my mouth, and that's not uncommon.
Right.
So, but when we get out there, I had been working on Tony Soprano, and I thought I had a representative one. It was okay, and the cue cards weren't there. There's no cue cards. I'm out there by myself, and I panicked and started doing Marlon Brando.
Look, lady, have you even ever given a lap dance?
Sweetheart, I've done more laps than Seabiscuit.
Do you have a favorite host?
I love Stallone. He spent so much time with me. I said, look, I'm gonna ask you for an autograph picture. And he's like, all right. He goes, he wrote something like, it was a pleasure to bask in your talent.
In 2014, Darrell returned to SNL to fill Don Pardo's shoes as the show's announcer.
It's Saturday Night Live!
When Don Pardo died, Lauren was so fond of him that he couldn't replace him.
Yeah.
So he wanted to get an announcer that wasn't an announcer.
On Sunday, he'll say those famous words once again for SNL 50, the anniversary special, live on NBC and Peacock.
When you think about the legacy of SNL, I mean, what do you consider its legacy?
Since there's nothing like it.
Lauren has said he's gonna get us through 50, and then he's not really sure what's gonna come after that. Do you see who could take over for him? Is there?
I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said so many times that I don't fully understand how the show gets from the 17th floor to the 8th floor. I still don't. And listen, 30 years since my first appearance, that's almost 600 shows.
Ooh.
That's 5,000 rehearsals. So I've been there.
Right.
And I'm still telling you, I don't know how it happens.